Greetings, my fellow friends and Americans. I come to you with important messages that bring down actually, your life is governed by the sphere of others, the sphere of influence of all around us, this global wide world web of people and consciousness. Actually, we all affect each other. We think our karma is our own. It's somewhat not possible, because we depend on the ancestors in the past to influence the present and the future, yet the future, our future's been hijacked. This is very important news announcement, because when you really realize what I'm about to say, you'll be like, oh my gosh, my entire life has been under the guise and projection and confinement control of a small class of people who just want us to be what we've become. Consumers, not caring about the environment, more interested in our tech and our distractions than interested in the body and the temple of God that is supported within here. So, your life is governed by others. There's a sphere of influence around us, and that influence is our mentors, our leaders, our CEOs, our culture, our pop culture, because everything is actually run by pop culture. Meaning, what I learned as a young kid is that everything that really was popular came out of California. During the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was Berkeley, it was LA, it was Hollywood, now it's Silicon Valley, meaning California was the trendsetter of humanity in a lot of ways. But how was that influenced? Why was it created? Because people saw that they could make money, and it was accepted, and they were called trends, and so each time every year to 2 years, they'd change the trend to keep you buying. Now that culture, I'm telling you, is pop culture, because when one person sets a trend and others begin to follow, this is how our world navigates to foods, pleasures, entertainment, but who's controlling the entertainment? Who's controlling the taste buds? Well, here's corporations. Meaning we don't have an authentic representation in any situation that governs us to control us that actually has our best interests, our vote. This is why we are introducing something that is steps beyond what Facebook could ever offer, steps beyond what any corporation could offer, because it is run for and by the people. This is what we've called pop culture. We've called a science, because now we can verify that you do this, you get this reaction. We can verify it with facts, and we've created a popological culture that we don't even know we live in. We don't even know we live in a popological culture that tells us if some song is really trendy, then it goes nationwide or worldwide, and everybody's singing that popular music. Well, we've come up with a strategized idea that works for the people and commands us to be strong in our selves. So my vote counts. Your vote counts. Now, currently, you can say and do anything you want in this world, but if it ain't going to float for the corporations or allow these people to win, they don't want to let us win. So we're creating the next level of what you've been using Facebook. We're using, it's a pop book, meaning you're part of the popological book of life. Yeah, you were all in the book of life. Now you have a vote in the book of life. So we're creating what we call Popology.org, because it's an organization, and you're a part of it. And we invite you to become part of it, of the authentic part. Because here's how it works. It's amazing. If I have an idea, and I want to share it with my people on my timeline, I can post an idea, and people can vote. Is this idea great? Is it not? So if I have an environmental concern, and let's say we want to vote on saving the whales, I can put out a petition, and check this out. My petition gets caught wind of somebody who has many, many followers if you become a king of pop, say. So we have hierarchy within our pop sphere. So let's say we take somebody who we love and emulate and think that they do great things, like the Dalai Lama. So the Dalai Lama is on our Pop app, and he's able to post his ideas and things, and you subscribe to, hey, do you think the Dalai Lama should have a lot of authority, or your beliefs support your beliefs? You put one of your votes to the Dalai Lama. One of your votes to, say, a Russell Brand, for he wants to go out and like save humanity, or let's say Leonardo DiCaprio. He wants to save the environment. He can post something immediately saying, look, we have a problem with the whales. Does anybody agree with me? And all of a sudden you get millions of people behind, because now it's not being hijacked. It's not like the whales are dying, oh, okay, now let's go on to the weather. It's the whales are dying, let's do something about it. Here's what we're going to do about it. It's presented. Millions of people say we agree upon it. And all of a sudden, let's say the President of the United States, if we even had somebody with some real thinking logic, let's say, I like that idea, let's do it, because the people are in support of it. So, like, for example, if I have the Dalai Lama, Russell Brand, and let's say one other person you can think of, until you have these three people, and whatever they're doing, you agree with. So, let's say the Dalai Lama has 20 million followers. If he says, hey, I'm doing this, and I suggest that you do it, 20 million people would do it. So if he said today is a very important astrologically, for the moon is going to be high, that if you fast today, you'll be able to help heal the world. But first yourself. So we all were able to organize in daily rituals that allowed us to come together more as a community than to be separate. We would build a strong, powerful book of life. And you're in the book of life. The Facebook, that's gone. We don't want to be identified by our own personality. We want to be identified by our own group. Because when you're in a group, you're more powerful, correct? So let's say that people who like and follow me on Facebook, they are given the opportunity to say, I'm able to represent them. And I'm able to be their avataric teacher. And so we all teachers to each other. So we become a strengthening rather than a weakening Wikipedia. We actually create an online base of authentic, non-algorithmic, computerized dissension. Like many of these apps and many of these things, they drop and they're totally an illusion. No one really agrees with it, yet they have millions of followers because that's what they want you to think. We want to create the ultimate experience to where you go to our app, the Pop app. You go to the app and you go, okay, what's trending today? Well, I'm a follower of the Dalai Lama and Russell Brand. They immediately come up in my feed and they're like, okay, Russell Brand's like, oh, hey, man, I want to find out about his diet, why he's so healthy, or why Zen is so healthy. So you go to our diet and you go, okay, these people do this and this to be healthy. So we become an authentic resource for information. And groups can come out of that. Tribes. We actually call them tribes because they're little pockets of different people who want to communicate and connect, but we're also unconnected because of the way things are designed. So we're creating this app, and it's so close that could replace all the social media that we're playing with if we want to live within the authenticness of a tomorrow. Meaning there are certain guidelines that we are living in and on to get the results. For example, hey, you want to save the planet? Will you join the tribe that is trying to save the planet? And they tell you how to do it. They tell you how to buy food so you're not wasting all this packaging. Tell you that if you're part of the group, hey, these guidelines is you always take bags to the store. You always recycle. You actually don't buy things that you have to recycle. So it becomes a strengthening because personally, a lot of us are not getting information that brings us to truth. So this is what it's about. This is what it's about, is connecting the dots so that our pop culture works. And we'll develop our own TV and radio shows and news shows, and it can be totally self-community created so that when you become, with enough followers, you go to certain levels of, like, king, a popular, queen of popular, or avatar of popular, or people that basically are like stewards to building the temple. So we all have qualities, we all have possibilities. So this is one of our deep ideas that is going to help transform the world. So let's say I have, or you have an idea, or even if the president had one good idea, he could, instead of tweeting it, he could say, okay, look, I'm about to vote or veto this pipeline. How many of my people that follow me agree or disagree? Because I'm going to go with the popular vote. And so if the vote goes 60, 80, 90% to do or not do something, that's what he goes with. Right now, it's not popular. I mean, we could run the entire government from our phone. You know, we don't even need these Congress people. This is old. This is the way they did things in the old days. They would ride by horse, and they would send things by telegraph. Things were so slow. Now we can make a decision in the entire world. One phone call, within an hour, the entire world could know what's going on. So why don't we get in the know and bring people together in a way that isn't going to be hijacked by the AI, but more like heart-jacked by our ability to connect and build a community tribal institution with Popology.org. Check it out. More to say, more to come. Thank you. I'm Yogi Zen from Hawaii.